The last time I talked about how important it was for the poet to get out of the way of the poem, for the poem to be what it's going to be. This time I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the different schools and movements of poetry. There's too many for me to list in this video. I want to keep this video short. But there's something in all of those schools and movements to learn. There's something in those schools and movements that can teach you. And, you know, as we write, we tend to find our way into the schools and movements that speak to us. You know, whether it's the beat movement, whether it's neo-formalism, whether it's Harlem Renaissance, whether it's, you know, the confessionalist poetry, all of these schools and movements, there's something in them to teach you. And I would encourage anybody who is a poet to explore the different schools and play around with the different schools and deep dive and learn what there is to learn from these schools, but not to get too attached to them. It's easy to do. It becomes part of your identity. It can become part of your identity as a poet. I've always found that problematic because then you get sort of pigeonholed, and it can suck the life out of your work. Because, you know, you're writing a piece that may not fit into this school or this movement, and you're not sure what it's doing, and it makes you uncomfortable, and you think that means that there's something wrong with it or needs to be revised or reshaped to fit into this pigeonhole that you've created in your education as a poet. So learn from the schools and movements, but don't be defined by them. Don't let your work be defined by them. Because in the end, it's the work that matters. The schools and the movements are just part of the conversation. It's terms that are heaped on after the fact, labels. It's all the schools and movements are. So let the work be the work. Learn from the schools and movements, but do not let them get in the way either.